Hey guys, it's me again, and it's been a little while. Just before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to explain why there haven't been any videos. My dad has been in the hospital for the better part of a week now. Very serious situation. It has required my full attention. And because of that, I've been on calls, I've been dealing with other people, talking to members of the family, and doing everything that I need to be there for my dad and for my family during this situation. And because of that, I haven't been live and I haven't made a lot of videos. I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll be back as soon as possible. That being said, we had something insane happen today, and I was able to break away a little bit earlier, and I wanted to make a video about it and talk about this. Happened a few hours ago. The first time I saw a video, I thought it was AI generated. It was absolutely horrifying to see something like that happen in front of a massive audience of people. Now, if you don't know who is, has been a pretty noteworthy, controversial guy. He's a conservative. He goes to a lot of college campuses, does live debates. This is a pretty popular format nowadays, and has been popularizing it and utilizing it now for many years, and he's even featured in South Park recently because of it. Definitely is not a super radical right-wing person, but I would say that he's more of the moderate to, kind of extreme right-wing. The situation that we have right now is that there is a tremendous amount of that is advocated for, promoted, and allowed to exist on social media that has turned up the temperature in all political conversations, all social conversations, and all discourse on the internet in general, to a point where it's almost unrecoverable. You have people that are out there all the time advocating for in the last 5 years or so, especially since it's been a 90% left-wing thing, but that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either. But I do think that now you're going to see a lot more right-wing people balancing out those scales. A lot of these social media companies have expressed literally zero desire to even do the bare minimum of moderation. I think that two of the worst actors are Twitter or X and Reddit. Both of these platforms are full of a bunch of that not only should have their accounts banned, but they should probably be put in mental institutions. And I think that now I find it to be kind of interesting taking a step back for a week or so and seeing how many people are coming around to the inevitable reality that this is the only path forward. There are so many people in society now that are just completely unhinged, under-medicated, and really just completely insane that you can't have a person like that running wild out in society. They cause problems for themselves, not to mention everybody else around them. And I think that the society, we need to have an honest conversation about how to deal with these people. I'll be real, I don't really care about the people that are crazy. What's really important is all the people who aren't crazy, making sure that people that are not crazy are able to live a life of peace, a life of prosperity, and a life without fear of going on the subway, for example. And I think that every single person in the world deserves to live in a place like that. And I don't want to see, America turn into a PVP server. And I think that in order to prevent that from happening, we need to have honest conversations about what do you do with people that, get arrested 14 times? And it's not even a question, right? You put them in jail and you throw away the key and you compel them to work, and that way you can make the money back from imprisoning them forever. That's the way that you solve that problem. It's very simple, actually. If you look in history, this is what we've always done in history, and it's because it works. And the problem is that now we have so much of the discourse that's dominated by emotional thinking, that's dominated by the most unstable, the most virtue signal, the most, ridiculous performative empathy possible, and that's defining a huge political voice in the country. This has become a tremendous detriment to everyone. It's very obvious that the amount of, and advocating for that's happening on the internet, you're starting to see this happen, and I think it's going to continue getting worse. I don't think it's going to be the last one, but I think that we will look at and see it as a turning point in this topic. And right now, we are at a extremely pivotal moment. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. I think you're probably going to see right-wing people doing the same thing to left-wing people. And honestly, while I don't think this is a good thing, I certainly don't really feel that sorry for them. Because a lot of left-wing people have no problem using coded language in order to advocate for. I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of right-wing people end up doing this to left-wing people now even more. Because it's very clear that these social media platforms are not going to moderate this behavior. And ultimately, the real burden of responsibility here doesn't really fall on influencers, and I don't think that it falls even on the commenters themselves. I think it falls primarily on the government. The fact is that the government, there are already laws that permit, explicit calls to. There's already laws that permit the types of that people engage in online. And one of the big things that is a misconception is that people like me want new laws. We want any form of extra censorship at all. I certainly don't want that. But what we do want is we want the existing laws to be applied and to be enforced in an accurate and a fair way, which is clearly not what's happening. And really, the government not doing that and giving this asymmetrical, in my opinion, advantage to left-wing people to fully and with complete freedom, that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or, their, like icons that they look up to, until they start seeing those people get, I don't think it's really going to be real for them. And unfortunately, I think that's the path that we're headed down because of the government and social media companies and every other seemingly governmental apparatus that has just completely hand-waved this problem and ignored it entirely. So the of him should not come as a surprise to anyone. This should be something that everybody could have expected. All you had to do is read Twitter for an hour and you could have told me this would have happened, of course. And until that core problem is addressed, you will continue to see a rapid decline in any type of social discourse. And I'm actually kind of afraid to see what's going to happen next, because I think it's just going to continue getting worse, and I don't see the reason for it to stop. And so anyway, I wanted to make this video because it's obviously a topic that, I've been talking about this a lot for the past few years now. And I was laughed at a lot, and people were telling me it wasn't that big of a deal, and they were joking. Well, I saw the video. That wasn't a joke. That's about all I've got to say. So I hope to be back soon. I'll record videos when I can, here and there, but for the most part, as I said before, my dad has had so many really serious issues going on. I need to devote my full attention to making sure that he's healthy and taken care of. And so as much as I look forward to streaming, this has to take priority. I don't have a time frame. It will probably be a matter of weeks and maybe not even that long until I'm back regularly. And so hopefully that's the case. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Peace.